Thanks God that was not recorded. Great, we are recording now. So welcome, my dear LCPs elected. In a few months, you will become XLP, so that's good. This session is just a little bit to give you clarity on how to select your team, what questions to do, and what try to focus on for you to have the best team ever. Now, I know you actually don't have like 1,000 applicants, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do a correct process on how to choose your team. Because one thing is choosing persons, and another thing is allocating them in the correct place. Because as LCPs, you will have the decision of putting them literally anywhere you want. I mean, if all your applicants have vote of confidence, it's great, it's awesome. But for example, if you have a person that applied for marketing and at the end you think this person is better for EM or finance or OGX or something, at the end you are the one that will take the decision. So it's really important that you understand first, what are your needs? Second, allocate them. And third, check if this is the person for that profile. So for this, I didn't prepare any PPT. I prepared more a tool that actually I will send to you by email. And you will learn that actually as an LCP, you will become a human resources manager. I mean, as LCP, you do operations, you do finance, you do everything, but you will do a lot of human resources. So if you like doing human resources or you're interested in working in human resources, believe me, you will learn being LCP. So that's the introduction. Let's start. I will share with you my screen to show you the tool that I created for you. Let me just share here. So this tool is based on some steps. First is, in order for you to select a team, you need to know what do you expect from this team, because you cannot try to find a marketing person if you don't know what are the needs of your local marketing or what are the needs of your city. But even before that, you need to know what is that you need from another person. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Because as an LCP or even me as an MCP, we are not perfect. We have flaws. For example, me that I am like Francisco Paco, I know nothing about design. Like I suck at design. So you most probably would like to have a person in a certain role that will help you with design, or maybe you don't know how to do public speaking. Well, maybe your VP something can actually get this skill to work together with the skills you lack and the others have, or vice versa. So let me share my screen with you guys. Partager. Voilà. Ooh. If by any reasons I start to listen weird, let me know, because Wi-Fi MC. Yeah. You can stop me anytime to do questions. So this is the tool I created. It's a really simple and quick tool. And you have 4 phases in which you can actually work. You can see my screen, guys. Just can someone say if you can see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's clear, or you want me to zoom more?
It's fine.
Great. So the first one, this is actually the tool I use for my to elect my MCVPs. So I already used it, and I know, and it's really good results. So you have 4 phases. The first one is what do you have and what you're missing as leader. So as I told you, the first things first is you need to understand what are you missing, like on yourself, so you can get these skills on the other persons, or which one you have the best, so you can actually teach other persons to do it. And then you have the structure. Of course, you need to select a structure. We, the MC and Laura, they give you recommendations, but as I told you in the one-to-ones, at the end you will take the final decision, and I will fully respect it because you are the ones that know your local reality, right? And then we have define what the roles require. This is really important because you need to know the context, the challenges, what is required, and the skills required. And this is a really important thing because here is when you can choose if maybe a person goes to another thing because of the skills this person have. And then it's just the next steps that you need to define to choose your team. So this is a tool that works if you have 2 applicants. If you have 1 applicant, it's okay, because you will know this person is the best for which role. And if you have 10 applicants, it will give you clarity on actually choosing the best team based on the needs of your LC and of your personality. So I will use myself as an example. I did this when I was in the process of choosing my team, as I mentioned. So for example, my strengths, and you can do, I will tell you this, I will send you this by email. For example, me, I am a salesman. I would like to sell. I have management, relationship. I speak languages. and I really have a lot of endurance. So for me, this is my strengths, and this is something that I can teach other people on the process of being VP, you know, if I was LCP. My weaknesses is the relationships. I don't believe that I am a super extrovert person, so I have hard time making like friends or having, you know, a strong relationships with persons. My focus, I'm non-focused at all. I'm super anxious. I don't know anything about advanced Excel. And design skills, I'm horrible. So you can do this, for example, me, I don't know, me, Pauline, I'm great at design, I'm great at giving speeches, but I'm not the best in time management, or I'm not the best in speech giving. I don't know, it's just example. The third one is your values. What are the values that really stand for you? So as I told you, is honestly, being direct, ownership of the things, and loyalty. And then the next one is, what do you stand for? For me, this is the most important things that I really want to create for ISEC in France. So what do you stand for in your local reality? So for me, it's Culture à la Française and Create a Future in France. For you can be, for example, I don't know, financial sustainability, or being the top one LC top performer, or being the top one growing in growth. Having more growth. So this is what you stand for. And then at the end is just remember that don't be biased. Do you know, like biased is just not to think something that you're assuming that it is because you think it is. Like, for example, when you listen, I'm Mexican. This guy loves spicy things. No, not all the Mexicans love spicy things. So don't be biased by the idea that you already have. So for example, here on the right part, you put non-negotiables. For example, it can be non-negotiable for me to have my bank account always clear, or have a minimum of 1,000 euros, or my non-negotiable is having an EV meeting each week. Like I don't matter what happened, this is my non-negotiable. So for me, it was growth mindset and exchanges. For me, exchanges is non-negotiable. So you will use this tool for you to identify what is that you need from yourself, and what do you need in another person. Great. Any questions on the phase one?
Nope.
That's clear.
Clear? Perfect. And as you can see, you can use this, like I always tell you, ISEC teaches you a lot of things. You can use this in your work. You can use this in your stage, in your alternance, whatever. You can use this if you manage to become a manager, you manage to become a leader, you can use this. The second one is the structure. You need to be sure why this is structure and have some options. So for example, the current MC here, I had it, but I deleted it because I was cleaning it. I have, you know, CPLD, And then I have here options. What are my 3 possible structures for my current year? So here I was doing, for example, this when I was considering ICX, or maybe merging marketing with OTX, having a whole CXY. Why not? Or merging PM with OD. This is now on local level. Please don't merge PM with finance, something like that. But here you can put your 3 options. And then what I recommend you is you go with your current LCP, or you know the past LCPs of the LC, that's super nice, and tell them, hey, this is my structure. What do you think about it? Try to get some feedback on what is the best structure, and also try to identify the reality of your LC. For example, myself, I did analysis in ISEC in France, and I realized that ICX is not the most performing thing in 5 years. So I decided to go and focus on OGX. But this is something also you can do in your LC and say, hey, you know what? Instead of having OGT, I only want to have OGT without the E, because OG is not working. So that's some analysis you can do with EXPA, and you can decide the structure for your LC. We gave you recommendations, of course, but you can always give us feedbacks. And then you have your pros and cons. Well, if I have only OGX, this can happen. Or if I close OGX and only open ICX, this could happen. It can be financial sustainable. It can be that my members don't like it. It can be that, I don't know, it doesn't work in my city or in my university. So you need to create this possible structure. So at the end, you choose the best one and you compare it with the current one. So you can choose the one that actually will fit your LCP term. Questions on the phase 2?
Clear.
Clear. Merci. And then this is the phase 3, and this is truly, truly important, because this is the one that will be like the one that changed everything, you know? Define what the roles require. So this is super important because you can put here finance, PM, OGT, marketing. And for example, you are the experts of, for example, ISEC in Rennes. Only team knows the reality of ISEC in Rennes, 100% of what actually the people from Rennes want. So for example, you can put here marketing, and then you put, okay, people from Rennes, they like, I don't know, football. They are super lovers. So the person who wants to be in marketing needs to be someone that knows about football. It's just an example. So for example, here I put like, for example, in PD, they need to know about direct, they need to speak French speakers, like have communication skills, have work with Excel, because it will be an OGX, they need to know data analysis skills. Now, of course, you're not looking for the most perfect person ever, but if you have those skills and you know them, you can say, okay, I will choose you as VP OGX, or let's go with the example, VP marketing, but you need to start reading articles about football and how it works in Rennes, okay? So you can start actually knowing what is the education for your VP. And if you have, for example, an applicant for PM, but turns out this guy is amazing in Excel and he knows how to use XPA and he does IR, I don't know why, maybe you should consider this person for another role because he has the skills required for a different thing, you know? So this can make you really not be biased by the idea of just because this person was, for example, an example, a member from marketing and applied to VP marketing. Great, it makes sense for him to be in marketing or her. But in the end, turns out this person has the skills to actually be in finance because it's analytical, because it's critical, and because finance is one of the roles you most have. Why not? Let's give it a try. So you will have this hunch, if you can call it, in your heart, although it sounds really dreamy, that will tell you, hey, you know what? I want to choose you for VP Finance. What do you think about it? You need to talk with this person and say, because of these skills, I really think you can make you will do a good work in marketing, but you will do even a best work in OGX or in PM, you know? So once you have these skills and what the roles require, you can put here like the person that could have these skills in your LC. Because for example, some of you, I understand you don't have a lot of applicants, but this is the way that you can actually, let's call it, convince the person saying why you should join my team. As I told, I think, Shiny, you can see, hey, you know what? I need a person for PM that needs these skills and these abilities, and actually you have them. And I think if you go for PM, you will make an amazing work and you will grow as person. So you need to always try to have this mindset of right people on the bus. It's first who and then what. It's super important to have first who will do it and then what will do. So you need to get the person and then you know what they will do. But that's really important. Questions on the phase 3 of what the roles require?
No.
Okay, great. And then we go with the final thing, which is the phase of next steps, actually. So for example, for me was just, okay, I have the skills, I have the people, I have what I miss. It's just next steps on what you need to do to have this team. I don't know, have a coffee with this person, align expectation settings, prepare the interviews, challenge them on one I know they can do. For example, you as VP, as LCP, sorry, if you know this person can do a great work in marketing and he's applying or she's applying to finance, why not put it a little challenge of marketing? Like, hey, you know what? What about if you do a campaign for attraction for ISEC in Rouen? A little thing, not that intense. And you have 2 days to accomplish it. And then they will be like, wow, the LCP is challenging me. Maybe I can do a better work even in marketing. So this is really important. And then use previous team to do even interviews. If you are not sure about that, for example, me, myself, I asked the past MC, the one that David was MCVP, to do interviews. Because, for example, me, I cannot do a marketing interview because I don't know anything about marketing. So you can ask help for the MC, as I know you a lot have done. I see Japra and Aldo doing interviews. This is a great thing to do because you are not the experts on everything, but you can ask for help to do the interviews. And at the end, once you have the skills and the interviews and the application form and the personality test and everything, you have all this information so you can take the best decision. And at the end, you just choose them. My recommendation is also, if you're choosing someone for a role he or she didn't apply, try to go first with a meeting and say, hey, I'm thinking for you for this role because of this, because your skills. What do you think? Not just go and choose them because you are the LCP. Because sometimes it looks like, hey, you have a lot of power, chill down. So try to talk with them and convince them that this is a great thing and align expectations of, hey, you could do this, you can develop yourself as that. So they can both agree and he can start with the right foot in the role and not just, I'm doing it because the LCP chose me, you know? So that's a little tool I actually have for this process, and I will send you after this by email so you can use it for your VPs. As I mentioned, even if you only have one applicant or if you have 1,000, This tool will give you a lot of clarity on what do you need from them, what do you expect from them, and also what them can expect from you. So this is a really clear, clarifying tool how you can choose your EV. And then we have the part of the interview. The interviews, for example, of course, I recommend you to do previous questions. But for example, what I did is more based half on operations and half of the reality of your LC. So for example, you can ask questions about, okay, what do you know about ISA Kinran in general? No, like what is the stop, start, continue? Tell me 1 minute to say stop, start, continue. Or tell me the reality of EXPA in the last 2 years. Maybe not that advanced, but prepare some questions regarding the reality of your ISEC. And then the other half, well, the operations part. Then finally, also, I will add the personal part, because, for example, for me, I ask from my MCVPs, hey, I am a really calm person, chill person. And I see that in your personality test, you are super extroverted. What we will do if we have an issue, how we can solve it together. So you can do expectation studies on that part, and then you can have the best interview ever. And also you can ask for help, For example, here, just funny question. What are your favorite two SDGs? Why not? Maybe you want to know this person actually has awareness on SDGs, or what do you think about people going vegan? Just, little questions that will trigger them and say, hey, is he really a world citizen or not? This kind of questions. And then at the end, it's super important that you go with the personality. And this is a part I would like to highlight a lot, because being an LCP is trying to handle a lot of people with different personalities. And believe me, guys, this can be really challenging. So I will show you my own 16 personalities. All the VPs needed to do this because it was on the application. Question, have some of you already did this when you were applying to LCPs?
Yeah.
You all did it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, you can see myself. I will share with you guys. It says that I am really more introverted, that I am intuitive, that I have more feeling reaction towards what happens. I'm less competitive. I'm really judging. So it means I'm super organized and decisive. And then at the end, I'm super assertive. So I'm self-assured and resistant to stress. So if you have this kind of personality, most probably you would like to put this personality on a back office, like finances, which is a really structured thing, or maybe in operations because you want to have everything structured. Maybe not for a PM or a marketing, that normally this kind of personalities go better with a more creative thing. I'm not really that creative, and that's why I cannot make any design at all. So I need a lot of help when I apply to something, because I really I could send a word maybe. So it's super important, guys, that you check this, because we put it because of a reason. It's really important that, for example, that the most useful synergy you have is marketing and OGX or OGV. Marketing and OGV are like the both hands of your body. It's the most important synergy. What happens if you put two extroverted persons there? Well, either it's an amazing thing, or they will be fighting the whole time, because they're super extroverted, because they always think what they're thinking. They always say what they're thinking. They're always, jumping and being super energetic. So you need to be careful about taking care of the personalities that you have in your EV. Once again, it's not like maybe you have 10,000 applicants. Even if you only have 1, 2, 3 applicants, it's really important that you consider this, because maybe you think this will be the best person for, I don't know, PM, but turns out that in your skills 3 or in your skills tool, you needed someone that was really creative. And on the personality test, it turns out this person is not. So you need to be super careful on this to have a really good synergy. And let's call it like it's playing chess. Like you need to really balance the things and play strategically with the applications you have, so you can see this on them, and you can even be like straightforward. You know what? And I did it with my applicants. I saw in your test that you're super extroverted, that you have a lot of energy, and I really need a more not that kind of person on the thing you applied. How do you think we can balance this? And then it's really interesting to see what they answer. So for example, me myself, that I'm super structured and actually maybe I'm not. If you see this, I'm not the most amazing profile for PD. If you need a person that sells like crazy, But for example, me, myself, I actually was doing account management. And for an account management, you need structure, you need folders, you need calendar, you need meetings. So actually, I turned out to be good PD. Well, I think so, because my skills matched with what PD needed on this year. For example, me, myself, for next year, I need someone who is crazy, who goes out, who talks a lot, who sells like crazy. So I needed to check the personality test of all my applicants and see who has the skills. So just to close this part of personalities, it's super important. And if you have in your analysis, as I said, maybe you don't need a crazy marketer, you need a structured marketing, you need a digital marketing person, or you need a person who can talk with the universities. Well, if you choose someone that is super introverted as me or even more, maybe this person won't do the best work. So any questions so far on how you can balance your teams with regarding your personalities?
No, I'm good.
Does it make sense for you now?
Yeah.
Like a little bit clearer?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So let me just go here. Oh, sorry. Yes. So at the end, what I want you to think is first, check this tool. If you want, of course, I will send it to you, and you can check, you can work on it anytime. Give it some 10 minutes. It doesn't take that much, because you know the reality of your LC and what is the person you need on there. Then you create an interview for them. If you need interviews more focused on operations, you can reach the MCVPs. You can reach me anytime. And then at the end, you compare the personalities. For example, here for the MCVPs, I did 3 personality tests, not just one. And you can see if the person is red, if the person is yellow, if the person is blue. So blue is more chilled down.
Okay, we lost you.
Yeah.
But let me give you an is red as hell. I think everyone can realize. Sorry, is it better?
Still losing you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Okay, now can you hear me now? Is it good?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope.
It's way better.
No,
Yeah.
no, hello. Hello, guys.
Yeah.
Is it better?
Yeah.
It's just for you to check. Give me just 1 second. What personalities you need. I was telling you that, for example, Laura is super red. I am super blue. David is yellow. Yaprak is green. So, for example, I think if you ask me, probably Tim is a little bit blue. Nala is also blue. So it's more chilled, more relaxed. So check what things do you need on this person on the roles, and then you assign the role for them. But try to be careful on the skills you need and on the personality you need. And at the end, try to have a synergy on the personality. Why? Because imagine you have, I will stop sharing here. Give me 1 second. Opa. How do I stop this? Yeah. If at the end you have a full EV with only red people or super extroverted people, believe me, guys, you will have super intense EV meetings, and at the end you will be super tired. If you have only blue personalities or super introverted, everyone will be silent and no one will be actually implementing. So you need to have a balance of people who are pushing the others, and also the other ones who are blue that are actually lowering down so they don't go that wild. So it's just that. Do an analysis of your team, do the correct questions, and at the end, try to balance the personality so you can have a more harmonized team. And that's all for this session. I just wanted you to give some advices that I just came from running my MCVP's elections. So I'm super fresh. I have everything here in my mind. If you is there any questions or comments you would like to check before we go?
No, it's actually a really good thing to like select the different personalities. I would have never thought about it, but it's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, be careful. The personalities can be a thing that really it's a game changer in your EV.
Yeah.
So be careful with that. Also, take into consideration your own personality. If you're super blue, you will need more red people to push you, you know?
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know, any question, comments?
Yeah, I was just wondering because all the thing was like acting if we have any applicants for each position, if like this. Like I have position for everybody except marketing, but no one is even applying. So
Yeah.
like for this kind of stuff, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, 2 things on that. First, as LCPs, you need to ensure that you have the minimums of an LC. The first thing is finance. If you have finance covered, you can find out. So guys, you need to focus on finance. The other ones are in the order. It should be finance, and then operations, OGB, of course, and then PM, and at the end, marketing, because OGV can run marketing. So that's my first recommendation. Focus on that order. And the second one is, if you have already for everything, you can do the skill analysis, as I mentioned. And when you have this skill analysis, you can go to your LC and see who has these skills. And you can, I don't know, a TM maybe. Hey, you know what? I am trying to get someone with these skills. I see you have them. Here's my tool. You can check that I actually need a person for you. I would like to ask you to see if you're thinking into applying to VP. At the end, what I always tell to people is anyone can become VP. You need to be an expert, because the knowledge you can learn, but it's the attitude and the values and the skills that it's really hard. For example, if you need a really passionate person or talkative person, and you see someone, a TM or a TL, you can teach them how to be VP, but you cannot teach them how to be extroverted, you know? So try to get the talent from your team based on what you need. And in the last resource, if you don't have anything, recruit someone. I mean, it will be challenging as hell, because getting someone that doesn't know anything about ISN and becoming VP will be challenging. But if it's needed, go ahead and do it. Does this help?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Something else before we go?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, I really hope it was helpful, guys. I really hope it really give you more clarity on how to choose your team. If you have any questions anytime, as I mentioned, please reach me. I'm here for you guys. You're my priority. And help me doing the doodle of the LCP call, because I'm super excited to see everyone. Help me with that. It's on your email. And anything else, I'm here for you, okay?
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good night. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao.
See you. Thank you.
Bye.